Hello and welcome. I'm BluenoseLJ. This is a match preview for our third round Caribou Cup tie away to Fleetwood Town on Wednesday, the 23rd of September. Now, games at the beginning of this season have come quite thick and fast. With the delay to the football season, games are a little bit more compact, and this is already our second Caribou Cup tie. Obviously, last week we beat Salford 3-0, and Carlo Ancelotti made wholesale changes from the Premier League side for that game. I would expect him to do similar thing for the Fleetwood game, make a lot of changes. Now, I would also expect Fleetwood to be a little bit more of a challenge than Salford were. We're away for a start. They are a League One side. They have won one game this season and lost one game. They lost at the weekend 2-1 to Peterborough, and they sit 10th in League One. They beat Wigan 3-2 in the first round, and then they beat Port Vale 2-1 in the second round in order to obviously get through to the third round to play us. And as I say, I think that they will be a little bit more of a challenge than Salford. They are managed by Joey Barton, the famous Everton fan. This is always interesting when we come up against Joey Barton. Yeah, I would still expect Carlo Ancelotti to make very much the same kind of changes as what he did last week against Salford. Now, obviously, Branthwaite is injured, so he has to make at least one change to the side there. I would expect him to bring Lewis Gibson in as a replacement, but we just don't know. We're not playing at the weekend. We don't play until the 3rd of October against Crystal Palace. So it may be that Carlo Ancelotti doesn't make as many changes. Obviously, like I say, I would expect this to be a little bit more of a tougher challenge. It depends on Carlo Ancelotti's view on this cup. I personally would really, really like to see Everton progress in this cup. It's a cup that we've never won, and I think it's a really good opportunity for Everton to maybe win something. We already know that the opponents for the next round would be either Hull or West Ham. I think we can beat either one of those, which would mean that if we manage to get through that, that would be us into the 5th round, which is, I believe, the quarterfinal stage. So it would only be then 2 more games, the quarterfinal and the semi-final. I'm not sure if the semi-final is going to be 2-legged this year or not. Probably. So it wouldn't, it would mean 2 games, but the semi-final over 2 legs, and then we would get through to the final. So it's not a million miles away. It's not unachievable. It's a cup that I think that we should be aiming for. We need a trophy. I'll take any trophy that we can possibly get, including this one. It would be nice to win something that we've never won before as well. So I would like to see Everton take this seriously. Obviously, it is Fleetwood. It's not a Premier League side. So, like I say, I still expect Carlo Ancelotti to make wholesale changes. It may be that he brings in Mina alongside Kean for the centre-back pairing. It could be that he brings Mina in and Lewis Gibson. Personally, I'd like to see Lewis Gibson because I don't really know too much about him. I haven't seen too much. He looked very good in the preseason game that he played. I'd like to see a little bit more of him. There are lots of talk of him being a really top quality centre back, so I'd like to get the opportunity to see a little bit more of him. So I'd like to see him start. We're obviously Alex Iwobi came back at the weekend. I would expect him to figure at some point whether that's a start. I'm not sure who would make way for Alex Iwobi. Obviously, Carlo Ancelotti trying to pick a side is very difficult, especially as we just don't know how Carlo Ancelotti is going to approach this game. Like I say, I would expect him to make very much a lot of changes, but who he has in mind for we have to remember that this is a good opportunity for squad players to kind of make a name for themselves, or at least show themselves that they are worthy of maybe, getting onto the bench in the Premier League or something. I don't think that too many people did that last week against Salford. Obviously, there's Moise Kean. I wasn't totally convinced with him. I'm not totally convinced with Moise Kean, I have to say. I like Moise Kean. I know that the talent is there. I can see it. You don't play for Juventus and score goals the way that he did. You don't get into the Italy side and score goals if you're not a good striker. But he hasn't shown it for Everton. Whether he can't handle the Premier League, whether he's having problems with being so young and being away from Italy, I don't know. I would have thought that may have changed with obviously Carlo Ancelotti, but the jury is still out on Moise Kean. There is rumours that he is going to leave in this transfer window. He will go back to Juventus on loan. Who knows? Who knows? Obviously, we've still got another week and a half of the transfer window. That would definitely mean that we would have to bring in a replacement. And who knows what will happen? Maybe Carlo Ancelotti will allow him to go, maybe even go back on a permanent deal if he doesn't feel that he's going to cut it. I do expect him to get another chance tomorrow against Fleetwood to try and impress. I would really like it to work out for Moise Kean. We spent a lot of money on him. He's young. He clearly has talent. I would like to see it work and eventually, become a major part of the first team. But at the moment, that looks unlikely. Sigurdsson. I'd like again to see Sigurdsson in midfield. I'd like him to show a little bit more than I think that he did against Salford last week. He played okay. I was really impressed actually with Sigurdsson when he came on against West Brom. I thought that he was passing the ball about. He moved a little bit more. He had, I think, a little bit more freedom with Allen being the holding midfielder there. I just think he looked a lot better as a player. The passing was a lot better. His movement was a lot better when he came on. I was quite impressed with him. I thought he had a really good game when he came on, and I still think that he can be a part of the squad. I'm not going to say that he's going to be a starter every week, but I do think that he offers something different. I'd like to see him maybe in the Gomez type role. I don't think he's as good as Gomez anywhere near, but Gomez is probably going to need some time of rest, especially with the ankle. He's not going to play 90 minutes every single week. So we've got Bernard and we obviously have Sigurdsson as well. I'd like to see both of those push and show what they can do. And maybe even, Alex Iwobi as well to give some options to Carlo Ancelotti, give some real, to show what they can do. I don't think these three players are starters for Everton. The team that played, apart from obviously Mason Holgate, their last two Premier League games, that's our starting 11. These other players need to show that they can come on and maybe start every now and again, but we need them to show that they are capable of being part of this squad, being part of Everton, or otherwise we just really need to get rid of. So I would expect Bernard, Sigurdsson, Kean, and Iwobi to all feature against Fleetwood, and I like to see them show something more than what really they have so far. Apart from Sigurdsson at the weekend, which, like I say, I think he had quite a good game. I expect Kenny and Nkunku to be the wing backs again. I think Nkunku has already shown that he is the backup to Lucas Digne. It's up to Kenny now to show that he can be the right back as a replacement or cover for Seamus Coleman, and that's up to him. There's still talk of us signing Arias, so if Kenny doesn't impress Carlo Ancelotti, I can see us going out and buying a right back or bringing one in on loan. I still think that we're going to bring in a centre back on loan because obviously Mason Holgate and Branthwaite are out for 4 weeks and 12 to 14 weeks, I think, respectively there. So I expect us to bring in a centre back as well. So I do expect us to get through. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory. 2-0 or 3-1 maybe. I'd like to see Kean get on the score sheet, maybe get a couple of goals, get some confidence up, show that. But beyond the goal, I want him to score. But beyond the goal, I want him to show that there's more to Moise Kean, that there is part of his game that he can, that one, he can score goals, but also that he can play in the English game, and that he has the ability to be part of this squad. That's up to Moise Kean, and obviously Carlo Ancelotti on who he picks. But like I say, regardless of who he picks, I still expect us to get through, and I would expect us to be playing probably West Ham in the next game. That's it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already, because remember, if you want to be in with the chance of winning the new Everton Football Top, you need to have subscribed to this channel, and you also need to have commented the size and the color that you would require if you win on the prize video that I will link here. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.